Hey yo, welcome back. This is Ty Ty. Today I'm going to show you 4 Future-like vocal effects that they use in We Still Don't Trust You. Let's go. Alright, so starting off, let's go ahead and maybe go with one of the most obvious and one of the simplest things you can do. You know, a lot of times people call putting your beat underwater the Drake effect, but Future, they love putting that on his vocals, so it's super simple. So we got 2 plugins here that we could use. You know, you could use a standard EQ, but I find these very simple. So let's go ahead and pull up the one knob filter, and we'll put it underwater.
You know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside. You know that it's me, baby.
Super simple. You can automate that. You can do all types of stuff with it. But another plugin that you can do, they just made this available, as far as I know, for all DAWs. But you can get a lot of other cool sounds out of this air bundle too. But this is another vintage filter, kind of same effect. I think it's a little bit grittier.
Look outside. You know it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside. You know it's me, baby. I feel in the seat, baby.
Now another thing that Future does a lot. So another one here, a lot of times I throw this on the bus, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the main track. A flanger. It's another one from the air. You could put this, you know, there's tons of flangers out there, so whatever you got, it'll work. But let's go ahead and we'll just kind of get some movement to the vocals. It doesn't just sit just still. So we'll go ahead and kind of edge that in just a little bit.
Look outside. You know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside. You know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I feel in the seat, baby.
Alright, so you can feel that movement there. I'll play it bypass back and forth.
Look outside. You know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside. You know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I feel in the seat, baby.
So it's very simple, but it does add a little bit of extra sauce to it. So then actually going into a couple more nitty-gritty things here. A really good go-to one that Future does a lot of times is just extra distortion on the vocals. You could use different types of saturation. I'll show 2 things here. First, we'll start with lo-fi. Now with this, does bring a lot of different things that you can do with it, even though it's a very simple plugin. You can drop the sample rate, bring up the distortion, saturation, and just kind of really add some grit to it. So let's go ahead and add it in.
Side, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside. You know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I feel in the seat, baby.
So it's very simple, but notice the difference it makes when I drop that sample rate one more time.
Side, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside. You know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I feel in the seat, baby.
Definitely don't want no noise on that. I was wondering if it would sound okay. But another thing too, add a little like analog richness. Go ahead and just drop down your sample size.
Side, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside. You know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I feel in the seat, baby.
So it does. It adds a little bit of grit there. Another plugin that you can use too, especially to kind of get that slight telephone effect. Let's see here. We got the Saturn. So I got this little preset here. What one is that? Boom. Basically, you're kind of boosting the mids a little bit, which you can do in your EQ, but this just kind of adds like a nice little richness. So
side, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside. You know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I feel in the seat, baby.
All right, and another little added bonus here for those that don't know, trap music, a lot of times they'll use the telephone EQ, and it just kind of sounds like you're talking on a phone. It's real cool.
Side, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up.
Now check this out. Maybe throw it underwater too.
Side, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get on the heat, baby. Look outside, you know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I feel in the seat, baby.
So some cool things you can do with that. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into what I would consider the most valuable piece of information in this video. So if you're still here, go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment. But this specific effect really stuck out to me on the project, and it's very, very unique. So let me go down here. I actually ran this in kind of a different way than I normally would, but the effect is absolutely amazing. So let me go ahead and play the rest of the hook, and then it'll go into this little like outro, and I'll break down how I did it.
I feel like the light is only on for us. Baby, for you, it's like I'm blind.
All right, so you can tell there's some things going on there. So the way I kind of would call this is like a panny wah-wah type effect. So I actually have a doubler on this one, just so it's like split and just kind of brings an extra little effect. But a lot of times they'll have it running in the center. So this is in the center.
Baby, for you, it's like I'm blind. Look like a tidal wave. I'm taking you out. Pick you outside today. I think I'm addicted. You know.
All right, so play it real quick with the doubler.
Let me take your fears away. Look like a tidal wave. I'm taking you out. Pick you outside today.
So kind of what's going on with the doubler. I mean, I'm not doing nothing too crazy in here. I got some roll off on both ends. I got the center information cut out, so it's almost a little more drastic, panning left and right, because it is cutting out the middle. So you can go ahead and copy down those settings. But you know, this is just my vocal rider, nothing major going on there. But then this is where you get a lot of that real cool, just wah-wah type sound. I'm telling you, this bundle, they got some crazy effects in here, and it just gets slept on. They just reworked it, actually, different UIs, but man, the OG worked just fine. So with this one, I can't remember the exact name of the preset, but I just kind of saved it under my own name because this was my favorite one in here. But you do get a nice cool effect from that, just some like fuzzy wah-wah goodness. But let's go ahead and give it a play with it.
Let me take your fears away. Look like a tidal wave. I'm taking you out. Pick you outside today. I think I'm addicted. You know I can't quit it. I'm stacking my rich. I'ma make it my beyond.
So it's kind of filtery, you know what I mean? But it brings that essence in that I'm looking for. Definitely one more time with and without.
Let me take your fears away. Look like a tidal wave. I'm taking you out. Pick you outside today.
So you're getting, you know, some fuzz, some wah-wah. You know, you could probably do this with the one knob filter, you know, hitting them with a low pass on that, get a little different tone. So you get that kind of set in where you want it to be if you want to copy those down. But then really where it comes in, I got all my backgrounds running to a bus. But down here at the end, you got Pan Man or any type of panner that you want to use, and you just kind of get it skipping all over the place.
Let me take your fears away.
Get that
Look
bounce.
like a tidal wave. I'm taking you out. Pick you outside today.
So like say you wanted it to be not quite as wide, you go ahead and bring the width down, and then you're going to kind of center it.
Let me take your fears away. Look like a tidal.
Let me shut off this doubler real quick. You'll be able to tell a bit more.
Let me take your fears away. Look like a tidal wave. I'm taking you out. Pick you outside today. I think I'm addicted. You know I can't.
So you know that just man, it brings so much essence into it. Like, you could really throw this on a bridge. I don't know if I'd necessarily put it on an intro, but a bridge, an outro. I'll even show, let's see here real quick. I'll go ahead and throw that on the lead. So, like, you can get some cool movement too, like I was talking with the air flanger, but this is a little more dramatic. So say we do the fuzz wah, get that preset pulled up, and then say you put Pan Man on this. Alright, so check this out.
Look outside, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside, you know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I'm feeling the seat, baby.
One more time.
Look outside, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat.
So you feel that movement that's bringing in there? I think they be sneaking this very subtly on some leads too, on some like real melodic stuff. Or maybe moving a little too fast. But I like making it to where it's smooth, so it's just not quite like bing, 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 bing. Just nice, gentle pans. All right, one more time.
Look outside, you know that it's me, baby. I'm picking you up. Let's get something to eat, baby. Look outside, you know that it's me, baby. Let's get a couple drinks, baby. I'm feeling the seat, baby.
Definitely in like the hum right there.
Seat, baby.
Just adds a nice essence. But yo, I hope that helps y'all. Sometimes you just open up a new project and a little essence of this whole tape will stick out to you. And it's like, man, I gotta recreate that. But yeah, this is Ty Ty bringing you radio quality music from home. I'm gonna catch y'all next week. Peace. Hit that subscribe.